Okay, so here we are in part 2 of the video on permutations. We've filled in the red numbers there because it's 3 letters in front and then 3 numbers. There are 10 numbers, not 9, because you include 0. And now when you actually multiply them out, you're going to get like 17.5 million or so. Does that mean, this is rounded, I think, does that mean we've got enough license plates for Minnesota? Well, how many people live in Minnesota? You think there's more than 17 million people in Minnesota? Okay. In Minnesota, there's around 5 million-ish. And if you go out to like California, there's like 60 million-ish. Okay. So a lot more. Let's make it 55 million because it's a nice round number. Because then you can go times 11. That means there's 11 times as many people out there in California. If they have 55 million people in California, is this enough license plates? No, not even close. Okay. And don't forget, there's some other factors, like not every person has a car, but a lot of people have what? More than one car, like 2 cars or 3 cars or 5 cars. So you need a lot more license plates. So how do they do that? Yeah, all you have to do is add one more letter or one more number, and all of a sudden you get tons more possibilities. Okay, let's just, in your head, think about it for a second. If we add one more number, how many times more license plates will we have? 10 times more. Okay, so all of a sudden we've got maybe enough. If you want to make it even better, you don't add a number, you add what? A letter, because then you have 26 times as many. Okay, all right. So what's the probability that you'll actually get this license plate? UUC 271. 1 in about 17.5 million. Okay, so if you're just going to hope to get your lucky name or lucky number or whatever, pretty unlikely. But what if you just really like A's, because your name has a lot of A's in it, like your Aaron Haas or something like that, and you've got A's all over the place. So you want 3 A's at the beginning. We can figure out the probability of that because it's what we want over what's possible. What's possible is there's 17,500,000 possible, about, I'm rounding, and what we want is things that start with AAA. Well, that would mean things like, for instance, how many choices do I have for this spot then? 1 choice, it's got to be an A, right? How many choices do I have for the next spot? 1 times how many choices for the next spot? 1 times how many choices for that next spot? I really don't care anymore. So it's 10 choices times 10 times 10. So it's 1 times 1 times 1 times 10 times 10 times 10. I bet you can do that in your head. There's 1,000 license plates that would make you happy, but it's out of 17 million. So you're still not likely to get what you want there. So you can order a special vanity plate, which has like 6 or 7 letters in it, you know, like number 1 mom or whatever. There's some interesting ones that you see out there on the highway. They won't let you take whatever words you want for obvious reasons. Okay, you're going to have a lot of homework today that's got blanks. When you write out these blanks, I would like you to show your work by having those blanks written out. And then if you want to use that button on your calculator, the factorial button, it won't work every time, but on some of it will. But you still have to write me out the answer this way, like 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. And I'm going to do one more with you because they get more complicated than you might think. All right. In this problem, we have the girls, Amy, Ann, and Doris, and the boys, Al, Arnold, Bob, and Roy, are in a preschool class, and we're going to line them up. Well, there's 7 total people there, right? So we need 7 spots for our line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it says a girl is always at the head of the line at the very beginning. I don't know who's running this class, but it sounds sexist to me. But let's say we had to do that. Then how many choices do I have for this first spot? 3. Now how many choices do I have for the next spot? 6, because I had 7, but I already used up a person, so to speak. So now I got 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you see a factorial in there? 6 factorials in there, so you could use a calculator to do that, and then you just have to take it times 3, because this part right here is 6 factorial. All right. Next one, I'd need, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice a theme here. We're using blanks today to figure these out. And I got how many choices for if Roy has to be first? Only one choice. And then what? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is 6 factorial. Good. And times it by 1 means it's just 6 factorial. All right. A child whose name begins with A is third in line. Well, that's this spot right here. So how many choices do I have? 4 kids have a name that begins with A. And now I go back. I can really go anywhere, but I'm going to go here. How many spots do I have? Choices do I have now? 6 times 5. And then a lot of people's brains lock up right here because they're like, wait a minute, I already used 4. So do I use 4 again, or do I have to go down to 3? What do you guys think? How many choices do we have? We just got done and we had 5 choices a second ago. It's 4. And then there's 3, 2, and 1. And now can you see a factorial in there if you wanted to work hard at it? I can see a factorial in there. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then times by what? 4. Get the idea? Just giving you some ideas. All right. When you work with other people on this, the right way to ask for help or to get some help on this is not to say, what do you do for number 3? And then have them tell you, well, you just go this times this times this. You're not really going to learn anything from that. So the way I want you to ask for help would be, you try it. You have an answer that you think is at least starting right, maybe. And then you say, how did you start this problem? This is what I did. Okay, because if you just come to them with a, how do you do this problem, that's basically like, tell me what the answer is, and that's not the way I want this to go. Okay, so when you ask for help in the right way by saying, I tried it this way, I think it's wrong. What'd you get? And you can ask for help like that. That's okay. I just hate it when I hear people say, what do you do on 3? And just their friend just tells them what to do. Okay, so try to be a little more interactive than that. All right. So here comes your worksheet. And we'll talk about problem of the week tomorrow. And I also got to give you quizzes back today.